Um, Sorry this episode was late. I spent a good amount of time this week reading up on something that I wanted to talk about here. Um, Warning, I am going to get political here just for a split second. And if you don't vibe with that, here is the time to skip it. But before you click away, I ask that you please listen to what I have to say, because I think it's very important. A month or so ago, Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis signed a controversial bill called the Parental Rights in Education Bill, but it's probably more commonly known as the Don't Say Gay Bill. Basically, classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3 or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards. It should be obvious how hurtful this sort of thing is for LGBT kids, but allow me to explain why this is a very bad thing. This bill not only bans teachers from talking about sexual orientation or gender identity, but if there is a student who confides in a teacher with gender dysphoria and the school offers mental health services to help said student, the parents have to be notified and the parents can decide to refuse that care. Studies have shown that LGBTQ youth already face higher health and suicide risks than those who are cisgendered or straight. But when these kids are given access to spaces that affirm their gender identity, they report lower rates of suicide attempts. I mean, go figure, right? As terrifying as this legislation is, it doesn't stop with Florida. This week, Alabama's government signed a version of this bill into law as an amendment attached to the restrictions on what bathrooms transgender people can use. Ohio Republicans introduced a bill similar. Their bill would ban instruction or class materials about sexual orientation and gender identity until the 3rd grade. There's a bill currently working its way through Tennessee legislature that would prevent schools from using textbooks or materials that promote, normalize, support, or address lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender issues or lifestyles. A Louisiana bill introduced in March would prevent any instruction about sexual orientation or gender identity through 8th grade and prohibit all public school teachers from talking about their own sexual orientation or gender identity. And of course, Texas has been trying to authorize abuse investigations into parents whose children receive gender transition therapy. And the state's lieutenant governor also stated that hopefully they'll be able to pass their own version of Florida's law. Now, I know what you're thinking. All of this is crazy. You know, wow, Delta, this is so fucked up. What can I do to help? Probably start voting in local elections. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even do that. I'm working on it. And I'm probably not the best person to ask when it comes to like how to get into your local politics. But I do recommend that you just educate yourself. In the description, there will be some links to the Don't Say Gay bill itself, as well as some links to provide you with ways you can help protect LGBT youth. Fingers crossed that this Florida law is repealed, but I wouldn't hold my breath. It should have never have passed in the first place. This YouTube channel is a safe space for people of all genders, sexual orientations, ages, ethnicities, etc., etc. Delta's got you. I just felt the need to let people know that this is happening and to ask you to please stand in solidarity with the LGBT community. Things might get worse before it gets better, so I ask that you please stand strong and know that we're with you. Hidden Gem 7. Let's talk about some fucking video games. Sorry We're Open is a procedurally generated horror RPG roguelite supermarket simulation game. You play as the manager of a supermarket and you're expected to manage employees, complete certain tasks, and make some decisions that could potentially make your life way harder. Kind of like being a real life manager. I like this game. I wouldn't really call this game a horror per se. It's just, very unnerving. The art direction is very cool looking, and I love how it complements the atmosphere of the game. This game hits different if you've actually worked in a grocery store, especially during like a night shift. Shit be mad scary for no reason when you're in the back rooms alone, and the dread of working at like Walmart or something is portrayed wonderfully in this game. The game gives you a lot of customization options, and I like how it's designed to be reminiscent of those shitty workplace hiring videos that I feel like everyone has watched, especially the old ones that are just insane yet nostalgic at the same time. The combat is very challenging, maybe a bit too hard if you ask me, but I normally don't play roguelikes or roguelites. If it ain't this one, I'm probably not gonna like it, but I don't necessarily hate it here. The combat leaves more to be desired, but it's just a personal grievance. The procedural shift aspect is kind of cool, but maybe I just get very unlucky with these sort of games because man, did this game make the same fart joke like 10 times in a row. I'm immature. I laughed the first time, but I didn't laugh the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Sorry We're Open is still pretty good, all things considered, and I kind of want to watch it closely to see how it turns out as its development continues. Midnight Train is a mystery adventure game with horror elements. Some insight about me, I absolutely adore mystery games. Mystery games are my shit. So if you recommend me a mystery game, 10 times out of 10, I'm going to binge it. Horror, on the other hand, I'm a bit picky about. One thing I absolutely hate is jump scares. Jump scares aren't scary. They're annoying, and I don't think I like them in any way, shape, or form. Don't get me wrong, I love some horror games that have them, Resident Evil 7 and 8, PT, yada yada yada, but I hate games that over-rely on them. And man, there are so many RPG Maker horror games in development. I get it. We all played Yume Nikki. We all played Witch's House. I get it. Jokes aside, Midnight Train is pretty good for the most part. You follow Luna, a traveler traveling by train, until suddenly she is transported to a mysterious place. She finds a pocket watch with some instructions telling her to find the next train before time runs out, or she'll be trapped forever. Not a bad premise, not bad at all. This game gives a hardcore Resident Evil vibes with its music and atmosphere, as well as its puzzle-based gameplay. This game is finished, but I'm only giving my first impressions since I only played the first chapter. The artwork is super good. The puzzles were easy, maybe a little too easy, but you know, that's fine. It's the intro chapter. No need to bust out the damn Rubik's Cube this early. I don't know if it was just me, but I wasn't able to see for a good portion of my playthrough. It just felt like some of the maps were way too dark, which could be a big problem in games like these, but it could have just been me. The writing felt a bit stiff at first, and just off first impressions, I wasn't really fond of the character Neil. He's the first partner character you run into, but you know, it is what it is. It's not horrible, it's just a little stiff. I feel like this is a game that'll only get better as the game goes on, but the first chapter kind of dragged its feet a bit. I think I want to make a full review on this game at some point, but I don't know when that'll happen. I'm already completely backed up on my full-length vid because I've been hard at work on this series, which, by the way, if you're enjoying the video, consider hitting that sub button and that bell so you won't miss next week's video. Come on. It's okay, I'll wait. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. I give Midnight Train a 7 out of 10 on the hype scale. I feel like I'll like it more the more I play, but you know, first impressions, just eh. Last but certainly not least, we have Haven, Secret of Caledria, and it's my fucking gem of the week. Let's get it. Neo Soul Gamer, thank you for giving me the option to speed up combat. You are a godsend. The character animations are beautiful and I love seeing them, but I play a lot of these games and the time I spend sitting waiting for animations to end really adds up, so thank you. This game feels like a classic and it's not even out yet. Playing this game reminded me a lot of Final Fantasy VII, probably because I played Final Fantasy VII for the first time earlier this year, but who cares? It's an absolute jam. I love this game. This game is completely jam-packed with cool things to see and do. The maps seem to have no wasted space. There's plenty of NPCs to talk to, plenty of world building and lore hanging around. This shit's nice. Fun and engaging puzzles, fun characters, Isabella's Bay, don't at me. And man, this music, just listen. It's so good. I need this game just to come out already. This is the worst part about making these videos. I find a game that I really just want to play, but sorry, it's just a demo. Lamau. Coming winter 2024, Lamau. Neo Soul Gamer, keep up the fantastic work. I will be first in line at this game's release. And thank thank you for making it to the end of another video. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry about the political intro, but it's something that was weighing heavy on my conscience and I felt the need to speak on it. I hope you enjoy the rest of the video regardless, and I hope to see you again. Consider subscribing and sharing the series with a friend. You have a game you think I should try? Let me know. Leave a comment. At me on Twitter. Let's talk about it. I'm proud of you for making it another week. You're doing great. Let's do great next week. My name is Delta, and this was Hidden Gems.